Welcome back, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm your senpai, your Dr. Rick Bennett.
Jesus
Here it is.
Christ,
Carlos Rodriguez, aka your nerd today, and I am joined by my fellow senpai, Sly. Sly, how are you today?
Ooh, that was a jump scare. I'm totally being a responsible human being, and I totally did not skip work today because I had a migraine. I put in for it yesterday. It's fine. But I am here to stare at a screen and
Yeah,
talk about movies with
you know,
you.
you know what helps migraines? Staring at a screen. Clinically proven.
Yeah, I do have my big lights on. I don't have my small light on. I probably should have reversed that, but it's fine.
Just a
We're
little.
here. And we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, yeah. No, we are gonna have a good time because today we are talking about 2018's Batman Ninja. Uh, as always, we start with our history with this. Sly, I take it you've never seen this film before, right?
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
This is my
When did
second
this
viewing.
come out?
2018.
2018. Yeah, this was definitely past my watching all of the animated movie
Yeah,
anythings.
I was really interested in this and just the concept alone because I've always been a big fan of I believe we talked about this when we did, what was it, Batman Gotham Knights, which is kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
mini in between animated anthology film between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and that's basically an anime
Yeah.
anthology. So I kind of talked about it here, there, pardon me, but I'm a big fan of like anime studios adapted Western media.
Mhm.
So, for instance, like again, Gotham Knights, pretty good. My favorite of any of these so far has been the Animatrix. Huge Matrix fan. And seeing the Wachowskis work, who love anime, clearly love anime,
Mhm.
seeing their
Right.
like idea in the world that they built adapted into anime was really cool. Especially a lot of those stories are truly canon to what happens in the Matrix universe. I'm not gonna get into
Mhm.
a whole Matrix tirade. I will. I love those
That's
movies.
not what this podcast is about.
Not that, not this one. No. I will say my biggest omission so far has been there's a couple like DC. We're gonna cover it as a bonus episode. We talked about it last week, but Suicide Isekai. And then Marvel has done a couple where I think it's called Disc Wars. That's one like it's more
Mm-hmm.
not kiddie centric, but like it's a little more child friendly, like anime. And then there's X-Men Wolverine and Blade, which came out
Hmm.
in the aughts. Fantastic series. If you ever get a chance to watch them, I forget, was it? I think they were exclusive to G4 at the time, if I remember. But
I
yeah.
was not tuned in that era of
Listen,
life.
no, listen. I feel like no one was. B, the time slot I think wasn't great, but yeah, Blade was a fun one. That's one I watched from beginning to end. And Blade being adapted to anime, great. But we're talking about DC here, so I also have never seen the Star Wars Vision anthology series, which is funny because
It
someone,
looks so good. When the trailers were
no,
out, I was like, "Damn, I should check that out." And then I
they're three
just
seasons in, and I
never
still haven't seen it. And they're shorts,
did.
right? Easily, it should be
Yeah, and they look
a
so
weekend.
good.
Yeah,
It's so approachable. I you know how many books I've read this month? Can I go on a quick book tangent?
go
I know
tell
that's
me.
not what the podcast is here for. We're recording this not to date us in the pridest of Pride months.
Yep.
And I had a goal for myself. I want to keep my TBR like around or under, preferably 50 books. So that's physical books that I have not yet read, right? Like I have
Yeah,
not consumed the story in any
at
medium.
all.
So I started this month with 63 books I had not read. I have since read 9. I had uh, 2 or 3 more that I wanted to get through this month. You know how many books I have on my TBR shelf now?
How many?
62.
You added more. I was gonna
It's
say
fine. It's
all
fine.
I've read is
I
like
don't have a
5
problem.
manga this month. I'm blasting my
I
way
am
through Jujutsu
almost
Kaisen, so
all caught up on my physical comics, which means
that's
now I
good.
need more physical comics. I have
I
like 1 or 2 I haven't read.
Yeah, I have a few like issues of like some random stuff I picked up like for free comic book day, and recent purchases that I don't have a lot of space in this house for like physical media. So I have
Mhm.
picked up recently a few that are right here. I have them like right next to me so I can read them. And then a friend of mine let me Anthony Bourdain's um he did like a Japanese folklore like horror comic.
Ooh,
And when he
cool.
when the trailer for his movie just came out, I messaged a friend who loves him and sent the trailer to her, and she was like, "Oh, have you read the books?" I was like, before I could even say no or anything like that, I next thing I know, she was in my office with the books. So they're in my book bag,
Incredible.
so I carry them with me so I can try to read
Wonderful.
them. But Jujutsu
That's
Kaisen first,
awesome.
and then them.
I I did get some comics this month. This is not MC University, but I'm going to mention them here anyways.
Mhm.
Somebody posted, I've been looking for these trade paperbacks for so long, for years. I wanted them. Somebody posted both volume 1 and 2 of Bucky Barnes' Man on the Wall.
Ooh, that's a
That
good one.
run, which I
Great art.
love that run. The art of it is so gorgeous.
Mhm.
And who doesn't love hooking up with a non-binary space royalty, right?
Listen,
Anyways, great run.
yeah.
And so now I have volumes 1 and 2. I'm
That's a
so
fun
happy
series that
about
went really under the radar. That was like a weird leading up to that was really strange time for Marvel, but that
it.
storyline is really good. Yeah. But
So good.
that's enough
We're
about
here to
talking
talk
about
about
Marvel.
DC.
Yes. Yes. So, as we mentioned, I watched the film before. Sly, this is your first time viewing. This film was directed by Junpei Mizusaki. It was written by Kazuki Nakashima, who's the creator of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill for all our anime
Ooh.
fans out there. Two seminal anime series out there. He's the creator of both of those.
I may
Um,
not have watched them, but I do recognize those
yeah,
names. So
those names are like, yeah, even if you
A+.
haven't seen it, yeah, those are like high tier names. Gurren Lagann is like
Oh yeah.
crazy mecha, and Kill la Kill is I don't know what you would claim it as. The clips I've seen seems like very magical girl, but like adult oriented, not in a weird way. Even though their costumes are
Definitely saw the
way over the
mecha
top.
influences in this.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. But this is also written by Leo Chu and Eric Garcia, who I believe they were the ones who adapted it to English. This is a good thing to
Ooh.
bring up here. We both saw the English dub, so we watched it on YouTube. It's streaming on YouTube for free for
Mhm.
everyone watching. Again, this is a good time to say fuck David Zaslav, fuck the Ellis family.
Mhm.
But we both watched the English dub. I'm
Mhm.
sure if you buy the Blu-ray, or I don't even know if it was on HBO Max if they had the Japanese audio, but I've never seen the Japanese audio, unfortunately. I think that's the intended way to watch
Yeah.
it too.
Uh-huh. I did so because of the l- state of my hearing loss, I
Mhm.
do rely heavily on matching sounds to like mouth movement.
Oh
And
god,
so it
yeah.
it
That makes sense.
is very uncomfy watching the dub for me. I was like, why are their mouths moving like that? Like
You can never watch
but
any
it's
like
fine.
1990s like dubbed martial arts
Mhm.
films. You can't, or
Mhm.
80s.
Uh, I will say at the top here, while we're talking about these lovely writers, I
No.
do have lots of strong feelings about this story. I'm gonna put a heavy asterisk on here. I don't know if that's the translation or the aforementioned migraine affecting my ability to retain and recall any information about the story of this film. So keep those two pieces in mind as we move forward with said discussion.
That's your grain of salt for this episode. Make note,
Mhm, mhm,
migraine was involved. But yeah, the studio, as always, is WB Animation, who was producing the film this time, but it was Kamikaze Dogu providing the animation, best known for Star Wars Visions. Funny enough that we mentioned that they did, I guess,
mhm,
some CG anime sections in that, and Sandland, which is Akira Toriyama's another one of his manga that just got adapted to an anime run recently. I think it's on Hulu. You can watch it. I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. I did play the game a little bit though. And this one stars, and we're gonna go with the American voice actor since this is what we watched. Roger Craig Smith returning as Batman from all the different times he's voiced Batman. Tony Hale. I want to preface this. Academy Award winning writer Tony Hale, because everyone
Hell
doesn't
yeah.
know that that the dude from Community is an Academy Award winner. Uh, One of our favorites, and I saw you with her little mention here, Gray
Mhm,
Delisle, Tara
mhm.
Strong, Fred Tasticore, Yuri Lowenthal. Of course, if you have anything in
Shout
feudal
out.
Japan or Japan and you need a emo boy, you get Yuri Lowenthal. Uh, Adam Crosdell, Wilfred L, another Batman, funny enough, Tom Kenny, and
Mhm,
Eric Bauza, as I mentioned, streaming on YouTube for free. So Sly,
mhm.
hit us with a plot recap. Official one this time.
All right. The Warner Bros. TMTM official plot recap brought to you by Point of Progress. Batman Ninja takes a journey across the ages as Gorilla Grodd's time displacement machine transports many of Batman's worst enemies to feudal Japan, along with the Dark Knight and a few of his allies. The villains take over the forms of feudal lords that rule and wow, that rule the divided land, while the Joker taking the lead amongst the warring factions. That is an incomplete sentence, Warner
No,
Bros. I hate to break it to you. Uh,
you
as
see the
his
cracks in the
traditional
walls.
high tech
Yeah.
as his traditional high-tech weaponry is exhausted almost immediately, Batman must rely on his intellect and his allies, including Catwoman, ooh, and
Yeah.
the extended Bat family, to restore order to the land and return to present-day Gotham. One thing about that plot recap stands out to me. Do you know what that is?
What's that?
They are officially noting and observing the existence of the Bat family. That
Yes.
we
Because it's
hardly
rare.
ever get Bat fam in canonical like press release.
No, I don't even think in the comics they only mention. Maybe in like maybe it's been mentioned a couple times, but never never by like Alfred or Bruce themselves. It would be something like Tim would say in like a throwaway line or anything like that, if anything. Um, with that plot key back out the way, I want you to hit us with the comic book characters, and then I have an interesting thing I want to put up that I didn't really feel like a good place to bring it up until right now, and I was just it's a good time right now to bring it up. So hit us with the
Okay.
comic book characters.
Uh I'm gonna swap the order on this because I am offended on who you put top bill, but that's fine. We got Batman, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, the Joker, Poison Ivy, Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, Robin, Alfred Pennyworth,
So,
Gorilla Grodd, Deathstroke, Penguin, Two Face, Bane, and a bunch of monkeys that look kind of like Detective Shrimp for some reason. Because that makes sense.
that threw me off because there was definitely a point, and this is, again my second viewing. I was like,
Yeah.
why do they look like Detective Chimp? That's so
Why,
weird.
why do you look like that?
So strange. I did want to bring this up. This is a really cool thing that they did with this film. And again, we were about to give a shout out to Nakashima for this because I feel like it was intentional. Um, this is from IMDb. The looks of Batman's villains are styled after those of Japanese historical characters, namely the feudal lords or daimyo, who promises they are said to have taken over in this timeline. So Penguin is supposed to look like Takeda Shingen. Poison Ivy is supposed to be Usagi Kenshin. Deathstroke is Date Masamune, well known for having an eye patch. Two-Face is a blend of two different daimyos. Gorilla Grodd is Toyotama Hideyoshi, and Joker, interesting enough, and I saw the resemblance once I saw the name. It's supposed to be Oda Nobunaga, one of the most famous daimyos in this time frame.
Very cool.
Ruthless one too,
It's like such a
Nobunaga.
fun touch that like
Yeah.
you can't get without like really grounding this in a very specific moment in time. And I think
Mhm.
that's like one of the strengths of this movie is it is so specific and ties on so much relevant touchstones and it
Yeah.
just does a freaking gorgeous job.
So this is a good point. I didn't put this in the subsection, but we can just jump into the Andrea Romano roundup. Shout out our voice director, Queen herself. But I didn't put this on here, but it's a good thing to mention because it just popped in my head. When you, I think that's what helps sell this adaptation, right? Or this like kind of story that you're setting in this alternate universe, where you show love to the time period. Like we talk about Batman Azteca
Mhm.
so much because it's not necessarily like Batman going
So
back in
good.
time, but it is Batman set
Yeah.
in this time and the taking the facts of, how bad the Spaniards were, what they did, you're not holding anything back. Um, how they spoke too, hiring specifically
Mhm.
Spanish actors and then Mexican actors for the Mexican roles. Like they
Mhm.
really went out of their job. And this film is kind of like an early precursor to that, where you have a lot of attention to detail to what's happening in Japan at the time. Like they tell you a specific time frame, and if you know your history, and now with this trivia, if you did, now Joker takes out Nobunaga. Like these things happen. These are the
Mhm.
daimyos they took out to take their place. Of course, fucking up the timeline in general, but and that's a whole different bag of worms we can touch upon. That's when the time travel becomes very problematic when a bunch of white people just come in and take over every. Well, Bane's Mexican, but that's fine.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'll give him a pass. Y- you know,
We're gonna give Bane a pass. Everybody else, you're on the chopping
yeah,
block.
yeah. I was also very concerned with Deathstroke at one point. That was in my notes. I saw him with a woman. I was like, "Sir,
Mm,
that
mm.
girl better be of age." That I swear to God,
Gotcha.
Deathstroke. I don't know what Deathstroke we're getting, but if it's that
Uh-huh.
Deathstroke,
Uh-huh.
you
You
can go to
never
hell.
know.
You can go to hell. I don't like that Deathstroke. Um, but yeah, how do you think this stacks up when you have something like Gotham by Gaslight, the Doom Decade of Gotham, Azteca, and this?
I think this is the prettiest by far out
Mhm.
of all of them. I felt like the story of this film was really weak. Again, was that the translation? Was that the migraine? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I felt like there was nothing of substance for my brain to latch onto. Again, I cannot reiterate enough how absolutely fucking gorgeous this movie is. The action scenes were great. The art style was impeccable. I was having a great time, but I was like, is there a plot? I mean, I get the general, like we're going back in time, Gorilla Grodd, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
Damios, yada yada yada. So my
That's it
question
though. Yeah.
is there a story to this film? And if so, what is it?
Yeah, to me, and I it'd be interesting to find out like more about the behind the scenes of how this pitch, how it was made, what caveats, Nakashima had to make for this story, and like working with uh Mizuzaki on the film. Like, did they have to like bow to anything to Warner Brothers at this point? And again, I mean, I feel like Warner Brothers animation is pretty decent, like from our experiences
Mhm,
growing up as children and then seeing where they've been. I think our biggest problems with Warner Brothers is the parent company, is Warner Brothers in general, like above them dictating anything, right? So I do wonder if this was like, hey, we want to do this, and that. It's like, well, how about, is there a translation layer where Warner Brothers animation is like, I don't know if anyone's gonna get it. I don't know if this, and that,
mhm,
and learn from this and then kind of adapt it to Batman Azteca. We're like, we're just gonna go full bore and
mhm,
seep it into the reality of what it is that time frame here. This seems like the best way to explain it is beautiful. Um I had to go past my old man biases of 3D anime versus 2D anime, which we'll get into in a second. But
mhm,
as the film progressed, I'm like, yeah, no, I really do like this art style. I do like really
mhm,
found myself enjoying it and waiting to see the sequel for next week when we cover that. Um, I think this is one massive set piece of feudal Japan, this specific time frame. What can we do here? And then a bunch of set pieces of being like, well, Batman has his tools. All right, now his tools are taken away. Well, how does Batman
mhm,
adapt? And how does this adapt? And what do the Robins look like? What do what does his Bat Clan look like? And what like nods and cool things can we do to shout out, you know, show everyone that we, these Japanese filmmakers are big fans of Batman. Like, how can we adapt that and show
Mhm.
that? And they do a really good job of like I don't want to call it fan service. Well,
Well, I'll call
in
it fan
anime
service.
terms,
This is the first. This might be the first time that we get a complete uh Bat family, as in the four canonical boy
yeah,
Robins back in at least the first four.
yeah, true, true.
Which animation has not wanted to give us. Like
That was strange.
we've had Dick, we've had kind of Jay, we've
Yeah,
had Damien, we've had
yeah,
Damien and Dick, but Tim really gets the short end of the stick oftentimes. Poor
yeah.
guy. But we never get to see all four of them together. I am leaving out Duke Thomas. I'm so sorry. I do love you so dearly.
It's
But
Stephanie.
when people think of the four Robins, I said boys
Yeah, you
specifically.
did. Yeah, you did
It's
cover
fine.
it.
But when people think of the Robins, they think Dick, Jason, Tim, Damien, right?
Yeah.
And we get to see all four of them. They all have unique looks. They all have their own personalities.
Mhm.
And it's just really cool. I did see a really funny TikTok. I don't remember if I sent it to you earlier this week, talking about how Tim Drake really needs a rebrand because he has the worst SEO of all the Robins. Because
He
if you
really does,
search
man.
Red Robin, you get the bird and not it.
And then you remember when Brian Michael Bendis was like, "Man, we really gotta do something. Can I use anything? Can I use Robin again just for him?" Like, nah, you can use a different name. How about Drake? Oh yeah, sure, that works. I said that as a joke, sir. That's literally his last name. You can't be running around with your last name.
Uh-huh.
His
No,
ugly brown suit. What are you
absolutely
doing?
not.
Everything for every like 10 amazing things Brian Michael Bendis does, there's always one like, did we have to do that?
What
Did
the
we have to
fuck are
do?
you doing, dude?
Hey man, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage being together. That's good. How did they get together? Well, there's a lot of stuff that we don't really talk about. It was,
We
it was
talk
a
about
Max
that.
series. It was a Max series, okay? I got to do whatever I wanted in that series. Yeah, it shows. It shows.
Mhm,
Um, but
mhm,
yeah, I think it really was like these really cool set pieces. Fan service both in the anime sense of of the women's outfits and fan service as in people who like us who love DC and like again, there's a bunch of little chimps dressed up as Detective Chimp.
mhm.
That tickled
No
me.
explanation. We're just
Nope.
running with it.
Nope. Nope. And then there's like the you get like the Back to the Future effect, right? You're like, well, if this happens, does this mean like I say it at one point, I was like, because Joker and Gorilla Grodd kind of make Mecha and like a Megazord, is
Mhm.
that why we get Super Sentai and Gundam later on in Japanese history? Like,
Yes.
is this a cause? Is this like, hey, it's your brother? No, no, Chuck Berry. You gotta hear this guy. It's like, oh no, this white guy came back in the past and he took claim of
Mhm,
everything. Damn it, Marty McFly. But yeah, I think it was a lot of one key time frame and a bunch of bombastic like set pieces set to that time frame and cool
mhm.
costumes and cool animation.
Oh, yeah.
Now that being said, I did mention I was an old man in the beginning of this, and I remember not liking it the first time I watched it. I've grown a little more accustomed, especially with some shout out Netflix for having a lot of 3D animated
Mhm,
stuff and like Blue Eye Samurai looks beautiful. It's really cool. So I've become more accustomed to it in these past like 8 years since this film came out. What are your thoughts, not being the biggest anime person, between 3D and 2D anime?
mhm. Yeah. Again, I'm not the medium,
Hmm.
right? Like there are animes I have enjoyed. It's just never something that I've really dove into. Uh, the other day, low key tangent, but I think it'll help explain like my frame of reference. Um, I was playing the like you put a character on your head and you try to guess it
Oh,
gave with a
headband,
friend.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, sure. It was Post-it notes, but yeah, legally distinct headbands.
Fair.
Um, and the category was, I think it was just animated characters or something. And the two properties that were the first two things that came to mind were The Secret Saturdays and American Dragon Jake Long. So,
What?
so, like, my point for like animated storytelling is like very much like the boomerang era of
Yeah.
like the Disney, Netflix, or not Netflix,
Cartoon
Nickelodeon,
Network, yeah.
Cartoon
Nickelodeon, that
Network,
kind of where, yeah.
boomerang era, right? So like I like cool art, right? If I see art
Yeah.
and it speaks to me, then I'm going to resonate with it. When we did those animated vignettes, there was one that like the style was gorgeous, but it didn't really resonate with me.
Mhm.
Um, but this especially, oh my god, that scene with Jason and
Joker,
Joker and
oh my
Harley
god,
uh,
dude.
as the
The
farmers,
faces were a little weird near
that
the end, but I did like the
I
overall of it.
loved the weird faces. I felt
Mhm.
like it fit the trippiness of the situation
Yeah,
perfectly.
what's that
Uh,
art style called too? There's, like, a specific name for,
it's like
like
a hand sketched
yeah.
kind of style. I don't know, but it was fucking gorgeous. I really like how they blended multiple styles. Like you get the more mecha style, you get the more like traditional hand drawn, like sketchy style. You get a nice kind of blend of the backgrounds are stunning and the character models are super distinct. And I just really enjoyed it. And I don't know. I feel like it's when I think of like 3D animation, it's like inhabiting a space in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the things that like especially that I grew up with was like I would call 2.5D, where you have the like flat backgrounds and the characters are more defined.
Oh, yes, 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 I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, it's funny enough because I think I make a Batman 2004 joke in my notes, and, I was
I
that
love
style
Batman.
kinda, right? Like, where, like, you get these, like, kind of very
Yeah.
beautiful
Uh-huh.
backgrounds, but, like, the Bruce and, like, Clayface and everyone like that is,
Mhm.
yeah. So I did
Which
find out
yeah. Mhm.
the name of the art style is, Ukiyo-e. Ukiyo-e. That's the name of the
Okay.
style. You may have seen it like I mean,
Gorgeous.
you specifically, yeah. I know you've seen it, but like for our listeners, you may have seen it like when you look up feudal Japan art, it's that very like what you'll see is what you get, like that very typical art that is defined that specific time frame of feudal Japan and stuff like that. It's really cool. Yeah, and you know what? Like now looking at the faces too, I'm like, no, that really, really fit. Um, I loved when that went to that art style as well. The faces were weird, and now in hindsight, I'm like, no, that was a really good choice.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
initially, I was like, man,
I'm
what a
sorry, I
cool
do have
transition.
to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first pictures that comes up when you search that art style is the Great Wave. And Lego did just retire the Great Wave set, and it is the best Lego set I've ever put together in my life. Highly recommend.
It's a
If you have
really
a
good
chance
one.
to get that, it's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's so good. All right,
Every once in a
sorry.
while, like they don't phone it in, and it's like really when you get like a Lego set, you're like, damn, they really put the work in on this one. This is really good.
The
But yeah,
waves are
that
little
was
birds. It's so cool.
but yeah, that art style, that change was cool. And that kind of speaking of that specific style, and this is the first time we see Red Hood. I want to go to our next subsection, which I named art, but make it feudal. Let's talk about the unique outfits of the Bat fam. Let's start with your beloved Jason.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, fucking Buckethead McGee over there.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. It was just such a long red bucket on its head. And I mean, it fit the art style and it fit the time period perfectly. But Every time I saw him, I was like, that silly looking motherfucker.
He did. And it fit, yeah, it definitely fits. I think to if I'm right, I feel like that was specifically for uh oh, here we go. Yeah. I wanted to find it. So it's a large straw mask. Of course they exaggerated to like
Right.
the 10th degree because it's Japanese anime, and like that's how they play around with a lot of tradition and stuff like that. Um, I believe it's called the Tengai. It says right here, or Komusugasa. It's a traditionally woven sedge or reed worn by Zen Buddhist monks that are part of the warrior class. So samurai or ronin, a ronin, which would be a samurai
Warrior
without a master.
monks.
Yeah. So if it's technically like a ronin, yeah, he that would fit the Red
Mhm.
Hood style, being
Oh,
a Robin without a master, someone on his own. Such a
mhm.
cool specific design. Everyone else is like, not to me, I don't want to say generic, but everyone has like a almost generic ninja design minus Batman. Batman has three distinct amazing costumes throughout this whole thing. His general like super bat tech Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight kind of suit that he has in throughout the
Mhm.
beginning of the film, really cool. And then
The
once he loses that,
super like articulated joints,
oh yeah,
like like his legs, especially when we first see him, especially in present times, I was like, that looks like an action figure. It looks like they like
that's a
claymation
yeah, that's a
effect
toy,
an
yeah,
action figure.
100%. And it looks so it even some of the stuff that he gets to do with that suit,
And
and
he
you
has
see
these
him.
little like blue like lines, the techie
Mhm.
details on his like oh my god, it's so
That
cool.
seems like a suit, again, speaking of like Arkham Asylum or anything like that, it's tailor-made to whatever happens in Gotham, he's ready for it. And it shows when you see his Batmobile. The fact that his Batmobile that you see there is gigantic, awesome. It's a really cool. That's also just like
Mhm.
a toy. That just seems like a giant
Hell yeah.
kid's toy.
This was made to sell toys,
Oh,
which is
100%.
kind of like Japan's whole thing. So
Yeah.
good for them.
The fact that turns into the Batwing, like a miniature Batwing, and then that Batwing
Uh-huh.
turns into the Bat Cycle, and then the Bat Cycle turns into a Bat armor that wraps around this already teched out suit is insane. And it's like so Batman. It's so
Mhm,
crazy in one way, but at the same time, it's so practical to Bruce. Like he's ready for
mhm.
anything. He's ready for
That
Bane to
is
randomly show
Batman.
up. He's ready for Joker to randomly show up. He's ready for Ivy to randomly show up. Like that suit is like tailor made to be ready, and I like that throughout the film, you get it's not you don't get too much of it like story wise. He doesn't wrestle with it too much, and it's a little annoying to a certain degree, at least for me personally.
Mhm.
But when he'd be like, "What am I without my tools?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're Batman." Like,
You're Batman.
yeah. Why do I have to answer this question for you? We all know who
Uh,
you are. You're Batman. Like you're the reason why there's all these weird incels online to be like, Batman can solo anybody. Like give him prep time.
yeah.
That's who you are, dude. I shouldn't have to say
Yes.
that, but I do
Yeah.
love him going like
That
kind of
should
going
be
back to basics.
if we're not doing a year one story, like that should be intrinsic in who you are. We don't need the Bruce Wayne, like, who am I without the
Mm.
suit? Like,
Yeah,
like
you're not
he knows
Iron
who he
Man,
is.
bro. Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I expect
But
that
we
out of
do
Tony
need
Stark. I don't
the
expect that out of you, sir. You're still a ninja,
mm-hmm,
basically.
mm-hmm,
You were
mm-hmm.
trained by
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul. Get out of here.
Fucking League of the Assassins
You got
themselves.
your
Like,
back broken. The
you're
first thing you did,
fine,
let me
dude.
find Lady Shiva to retrain me. I'm sorry. What? The best martial artist in DC? Let me find her so she can retrain me so I can fight Bane again. Get out of here, man. Like what time frame is this Batman? He has his extensive rogues gallery, but like, did you not get your back broken by Bane? Like,
He has 4 children.
yeah,
So, like,
they
we
adapted
we gotta be up
great.
there.
By the way, they adapted amazingly. Can we talk? There's 2 years to adapt, and all four of them are like, we're good.
Mhm,
Nike was
mhm.
like, yo, I found these ninjas over here. I got the other boys around. Made sure they were good. I did my big brother stuff.
Yeah.
So we're all good.
Mhm,
Also, all ninjas now. Like, not even just like,
mhm.
hey, we have ninja. tendencies. No, straight up, we are all ninjas now.
Absolutely. Speaking of the four bad boys aesthetics, I do just want to read you one of the notes I took
Mm,
while watching this film that I feel like sums up my thoughts on their each unique styles. And that's we got fuck ass hairdo,
yeah.
bucket head, Mr. fucking Knickerbocker himself, and then Dick looking mostly normal. The
Yep.
fuck is up with that?
Yeah. Like nothing really changed. Yeah, nothing really
Damien
changed.
like mostly looks the same until he gets the fucking hair, whatever.
This Damien's such a nerd
Damon's got
too. Oh my god, he's such a nerd.
nerd.
He's
Him
such a
and his
nerd.
little animal friends.
Yeah, that's
In
so on
that
par.
universe, Damien's gonna adopt 5 million little critters.
This is where his Wayne autism is showing. You know, like the second you're like, oh, I'm a feudal
Oh yeah,
Japan. Damien, why are you
big
shaving the
time.
side of your head? Don't worry. I've been waiting for this. Really? You thought this was gonna this is the exact thing you thought this was gonna happen, Damien? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Red Robin, poor Red Robin, man.
Oh my
He's
god,
only
those
had one
fucking
good suit.
pants, dude.
He's only had one good suit ever, man. Ever.
Yeah.
I like the green because it's like it screamed like his '90s Robin costume, but then you're like, hey, he's Red Robin. So I'm like, well, I want to see the good Red Robin costume. You know, I want to
Mm-hmm.
see the Philip so I want to see that
Mm-hmm.
costume with the full cowl,
Absolutely.
everything. No,
Yeah,
here we
full
go. He's
cowl look. And like at least trim up the pants a little bit. Like you could have the oversized baggy
yeah,
pants, that's fine. But full knickerbocker,
dude.
itty bitty tight little boot, big pants.
Yeah, he screamed little brother energy. He's like, I'll wear what Dick's
Oh yeah,
wearing, but different.
but
All
worse.
right. Yeah. Jesus. At least I did. What do you think the thought process was when they first saw, like, this is headcanon slash AO3,
Mhm.
like, writing for us? What do
Yep.
you think all three of their first reaction was to seeing Jason in his, in his mask, his, like, wandering monk Ronin mask?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Damien instantly respected it, even though he thought it looked janky as fuck.
Yeah.
Dick teased him mercilessly, and Tim was just happy to be there.
Yeah, just smiling in the corner. Yeah, it's just Damien. I could definitely see Damien with like, "This is the first smart thing you've done, Jason." And it was like, "All right, well, hold on, that I don't
Yeah,
like that." Jason's like, I don't know why I don't like you complimenting me." He's just like
real.
Damien's like attention to detail to history and how much he loves it. He's like, no, he did a good job.
Mm,
Everyone should praise him.
yeah.
And I can see Dick just busting his chops for it being so tall.
Oh yeah.
Like that mask being so
Oh,
stupid tall. It's so dumb. His Tengai mask is so tall. And it's funny when you look up like historical like hats, like historical Tengai
mhm.
mask, and you're like, yeah, I forgot, man. That is not that big. It's big. Like it's big around,
Yeah.
but like not tall and big. And then he
Yeah.
still kept
The height
the
of
domino
it.
mask,
Right.
which is hilarious. It's still the mask
I
under the
mean, he
mask.
canonically wears the domino under the helmet,
Yeah.
anyways.
I was surprised it didn't have explosives under it like it does canonically as well.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, I got smoke bombs just in case you
Don't
take off
keep
this.
bombs in your helmet.
No, man.
That's our PSA for the
Uh,
episode.
that's not how Jason rolls, man. He's ready to blow himself up and whoever at a given point. He don't care. He died once. He's like, I'll die again. I don't give a shit.
What's the
What?
worst that gonna happen? I'll die?
For,
Been there, done that.
yeah. Guess what? There's a Lazarus pit 50 miles that way. I know where. And listen, I can talk to Race right now. He's alive right now. Race is alive in this time period.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Raish is always alive. He's eternal.
what if like Race is like about to like invade Japan, sees all this shit go down? He's like, I don't like that bat guy. I don't know about this. I'm
No.
gonna keep a I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. I don't know
Keep an eye
why.
out for him.
I don't know why. I like respect this guy, but at the same time, I don't like him. I feel weird. I got a weird respect for this guy. He beat the shit out of those daimios. What do you think about the Rogues Gallery? And their
Oh, they were
outfits.
great. I thought
I
they all looked great. They were
yeah.
unique enough that they were like distinct,
Their
but
color
they
schemes
all
were
fit the vibe.
perfectly in like,
Perfect colors.
especially Joker and Harley Quinn, like, they're I did wanna bring this up in a moment, but Joker and Harley Quinn, like, their specific color designs showed the as you see them the most throughout the film. So, like, their
Mhm,
how they adapted their costumes were perfect. I also loved, I love Deathstrokes. Two-Face was fun. Two-Face had a fun
mhm.
daimyo costume, like, incorporating, like,
I mean,
the half face. I thought that was really, really cool. Um,
very cool. I do have to give
Catwoman
love to
might
my
be my
girl
favorite.
Ivy.
I wish we got to see a little more of it because all we see is from
Mhm.
not even the waist up,
She's just
Sly.
kind of there.
We see it from the navel up. We see it from
Mhm,
her breast up. That's all we see of her.
fine.
I know.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm also not complaining. All right. I understand what anime is. Them things were
Uh-huh.
thinking.
Yeah, that's so funny. Um, there was the only like outfit I really didn't like was when we first met Selena again in the past.
Oh yes, that's civilian outfit. I think they from
Mhm.
IMDb. I think there was a like that's a specific costume. So she made that might have been
I'm
her
sure
job,
it is.
like in the
It
time
just
frame.
didn't fit her character, you know?
It was the puppet that threw
That's
me
not
off.
the
I
vibe
think
I
that's
want
what
from
I think that's what threw me off. I'm like, what's up with the puppet? And again, it speaks to like I wish there was like a line where Batman would be like, "Why are you dressed like a and specifically state her job."
Mhm,
The we always talk about like when we have films like this, like show us,
mhm.
don't tell us. There's a fine line
Right.
of showing and telling. Like I feel like this would have been benefited for some showing. Oh yeah, it says right here the hand puppet she uses to get attention resembles a black version of the Monkey Neko, the traditional white cat statues that raise or wave their paw. Oh, bringing in good fortune. That's what she's
Mhm,
doing. Okay, I got you.
mhm.
That's stupid. Then. Yeah, that's just a weird costume. Do you think though, like
Yeah.
her and uh her, Dick, and Damien having, Eastern origins to a certain
Mhm.
like extent in different canons, you think that helped them with
Oh,
their
yeah.
blending in, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because
I
they mentioned like
again,
thank
I
God,
don't
like
wanna speak for a
yeah.
country that I've never been to, but, all reports I've heard of a lot of Eastern Asian countries are the homogeny is so culturally important
Mhm.
that if you don't fit in, you stand out like a sore thumb. And Damien, especially growing up in the environment he did, is very good at blending into literally anywhere.
Yeah.
But the appearance definitely helped.
Yeah, I think specifically, I think Damien, Selena, because Selena, a lot of times, depending on what origin you're watching, like she
Depending on who
does,
drew her.
yeah, who drew her, like she sometimes got a little black in her, sometimes she's got a little Asian in her for some reason. No one can, and it's just racially ambiguous a lot of times when it comes to, unfortunately, with Selena. Um, we know there's Italian in there. We know that because of her father. That's all we know. That's all we know. But with Damien and Dick, I think it kind of helps with them kind of blending in probably to society. Like I'm sure, especially Dick, like ingratiating themselves to the Bat Clan probably helped that, Also, this is
Oh
like
yeah.
this is a thing where it's perfect that you don't tell us. We just know because of canon. We know that all of them are probably fluent in Japanese. That's not something you have to tell us. We probably like most likely all of them,
Right.
including Selena, is fluent in Japanese.
Mhm.
I don't know about well Deathstroke. I can see everyone else. I
Yeah,
can't.
he's done enough international assassinations
Yeah,
that
maybe
he
Bane.
probably has at least a basic level
Yeah,
conversation under his
exactly.
belt.
Yeah. I think, but everyone else like fits in so perfectly into that world, and they are uniquely adaptable like set of heroes to throw into the past and be like, no, we're good, we got this, we got it.
Not to date ourselves again,
Yeah,
but wasn't it just Japan and Mexico who played each other in the World Cup, and all the fans like were loving on each other, like they were
Korea and
so
Mexico,
happy.
yes,
It was Korea and Mexico.
yeah,
Okay, never mind.
yes,
To
but
be
they were,
fair, I
yeah.
only saw it through 15-second clips on TikTok.
Yeah, I saw everyone like having fun, not necessarily the game. It's just hilarious.
Right. I didn't know anything about the game. I
No,
just saw people
no,
having fun.
yeah. I was also thinking too. They make a point specifically because again, telling us, not necessarily showing us, and it's important like that you say this point specifically with Bruce trying to blend in this stupid ass monk outfit. It was like, well, recently more Western people have been coming to Japan to try to preach the world, and more missionaries to preach the word of Christianity. So, like, thank God. I think Selena mentions like, thank God that's happening right now, so you can actually walk the streets as this person. Because like,
Mhm,
Dick and Tim and Jason and also Damien are in with the Bat Clan, so they're kind of doing stuff behind the scenes. But
mhm,
Selena, being this version, at least being racially ambiguous, and
mhm.
Bruce having to wear the friar, the goddamn friar monk with the bat hair,
Mhm, mhm,
that
mhm.
fucking sent me, man. I could not believe,
Incredible.
like, kudos to whoever pitched that. It was like, guys, listen, I
Mhm.
got a really funny idea. That and
Yep.
Alfred's little ponytail, his little samurai ponytail.
Mhm,
I loved it. I love both of those so much. But yeah, I did love that, like, that little nod to be like, oh man, this really would have worked out if Christian missionaries weren't just randomly about to preach the word of God. I'm like, oh, I mean, that's not necessarily a
mhm,
great thing. Hold on.
mhm.
We're kind of glossing
I
over
mean,
some historical things that are going on. But
we
yeah, I
we
guess
can just ignore the Crusades. It's fine.
yeah. Yeah, let's focus on the homicidal clown that's taking over Japan. That's a little more. That's a way more concerning
Uh-huh.
thing than just white people, just in general.
Valid.
Yeah, yeah. Joker, I will say, is a little more scarier than racism. That's fair.
Mhm.
That's,
Yeah.
um.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about it. We were talking about some of the Rose Gallery, but what are your thoughts on
Mhm.
Sumo Bane?
Love it. I
It
Bane
made
is
so much
so
sense.
cool. When they let Bane have culture and flavor, Bane is so fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And to graft that on to Sumo Bane, brilliant. No notes. I'm here for it.
It was great, and he had like the old school mask too, which it's funny enough. Again, to date ourselves, as of recording, a film that's got to be added to our docket. The first trailer came out for Batman Nightfall, which is his introduction to Batman stories, and he's got the old school mask in that too. Like, they're very old school mask, and I saw that mask in this film. I was like, yes, dude. Like, I love that, like,
I love
long,
that
just like crazy
luchador.
mask.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing his mouth sometimes. Like, I've become accustomed
Yeah.
to it in a lot of like things. Or I also don't like where you see most of his face but not his mouth, aka Tom Hardy.
No.
Um,
No.
God, I bring it up every time I talk about Tom Hardy. I don't hate him for taking
Mhm.
that role, but it's like one of those things where, like, come
You
on,
don't have
man, what are we
anybody
doing?
around you who told you maybe that's not the greatest choice.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
why.
the problem. It's like you being like, "Oh, I was offered this role." First of all, that's on the person offering you the role. Second of all, you don't have anybody in your life that goes, "Maybe think about that one." Do
Yeah.
you really want that to be your association?
Yeah, it's like Nolan just wants to play with canon, and I get it. It's just like, God, man, how many great Hispanic actors were out there that you could have got for this role, you know?
Right. It's
Um,
not like we don't have an incredible wealth of actors out there who could do an incredible thing. But no,
yeah. Oh my
gotta
God,
give it
dude,
to fucking
no.
Tom Hardy.
That's like, listen, I know even from the little bit I've seen of the David Harbour Hellboy movie, I remember
Mm,
the controversy when it came out, or when at least they were in the casting when the guy who played Ajax in Deadpool was cast as a character, and the character is
mm,
predominantly Korean. Because his power set is like he's like a Korean were creature, and he transforms into like a tiger or
mhm,
something. I don't read it enough
right.
Hellboy, and I also only watched a little bit of that film. I'm like, wow, this is not great. Um, but when fans brought that up to him, he was like, "Hey man, like, listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. not a comic book guy. Like the script came to me. I thought it was decent. I love everyone who's working on it. So I wanted to do it. But I hear you guys. It is not a good idea and not a good look for me to do this as a white guy. I'm gonna step down, and this is who we're gonna replace
Yeah.
me with. And it was Daniel Day Kim. I was like, okay,
Fucking
like,
love Daniel Day-Kim.
yeah. So it's like, I see what you're doing now. Like, let's do. And then Daniel Day Kim having the really like heartfelt, serious talk, but like, listen, like, I get where everyone's coming from, and like, it's still a thing we need to talk about in Hollywood, but I respect Ed for stepping down. I respect the director and the producers for being like, yeah, no, let's do this. Let's make this right. Now, the movie's not great, but that's not Daniel Kim's fault. That's not Neil Marshall's fault,
That's
even. It's
not his
like,
fault.
that's just a weird time frame for that movie to come out, especially after the first two with Guillermo. But that's helpful.
Yeah.
Um, any final things you want to touch upon in our subsection before just getting to our overall notes?
I don't think so. Again, gorgeous movie.
No,
Couldn't tell you a plot.
it's almost non-existent. Um, all right. Anything in your notes you wanted to shout out?
Uh, okay, I did spend so long because every time Catwoman opened her mouth, I was like, "You sound familiar," and I went, "Is this Raven from Teen Titans?" And then I went, "No, no, no, no. Where where
Yeah.
Avatar strong in this movie?" And it's not as Catwoman. It's fine. Like, who are you? There's this like raspiness in her
Mhm.
voice that I was like, that is so familiar. I've heard this voice in this timbre so much. It's fucking Azula. Avatar: The
Great
Last
aloud, man.
Airbender. Like,
Great aloud, man. She's his
oh
best, dude.
shit. But like it was like specifically like the timbre and the tone and the growl in her voice that was so reminiscent of another character, and I could not place it for the life of me. And like
I
we've seen her do so many voices in so many movies throughout this podcast, but it was like, who are you today, and why can I not place you?
it's funny too because I think we see this with a lot of very talented voice actor. James Arnold Taylor, who voices Obi-Wan in like the Clone Wars cartoon, he has like a very um really cool like 5 minute thing where he goes through a lot of his voices that he can do, and he like, if you do this and you add this little bit of tone, you get Marty McFly, and then he goes from there. He's like, then you can go do, this and this, and then you get a little Obi-Wan, like how they get there and stuff. And Great Allow, you could tell, especially when you mentioned Azula, because this she does this with her Catwoman. It is Azula with like a little more kind hardness into her, right?
A little
The
softer,
A
right?
little softer, like it is a softer register when she does her Catwoman, because she does it in Justice as well, and in this, and there is that her raspiness really lends itself to the sexiness of the character. The overall sex appeal that Catwoman inherently has.
I could not
Yeah,
get over the fact that I was thinking of her as traumatized homicidal 15-year-old, but that's fine.
fair. And hey, listen, you just get a little bit of a better like childhood. Catwoman, age her up a little
Cat.
bit. Catwoman, right there, done. But it is funny,
There
like
you
looking
go.
at her stuff, and then this again, we've all mentioned her plenty of times before. She's in like Watchmen. She's in so many other things. She's in Star Wars stuff. She's in she's in Batman Cape Crusader, which season 2 is coming out. So I got to tell you about that after this we film this one. But yeah, she's in so many little things, and her range is just so incredible. Where when you think about it, all things considered too, when you hear her normal voice, you're like, oh, I can see how you get to Azula. I can see how you get to Daphne and Scooby Doo. I see where you get to Catwoman in Arkham City and Injustice and in this film and stuff. Like I see where you get there, and it's not too far. And I think that's really impressive to like not get too far from your register, but enough that it changes dramatically to a certain extent. A lot of This is a good time to mention this since we're talking about an anime film, and a lot of people will talk about dub versus sub, all that stuff. And obviously, we're watching the dub, so we're not helping the discussion in that sense. But
Fully up to that,
um,
dude.
one of and I want to. I don't know if he'll ever see it, but I wanted to give special flowers to one of my favorite dub actors out there right now. His name's Alex Lee. He is currently doing like just amazing stuff. He's doing Solo Leveling. He's the main um character in that. He is Zenitsu in Demon Slayer, which he is very, this is a testament to his voice work. Zenitsu is a very annoying character when he's not taking it serious, because he just screams and he's afraid
Yeah.
all the time and he's constantly screaming. So like as I'm watching and getting annoyed, I'm like, God damn, Alex Lee probably killed himself in the booth that day, just screaming
Yeah.
and screaming and screaming. And then when he gets serious, he gets all low
It's fucking
registered.
insufferable, but
Dude, yeah. You know, it's like one
but
of
you
those like, God
remember it.
damn, you're like, you're
Yeah.
a good actor, man. A lot of people have been coming at him for some reason, but like he just does the same voice, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, stop it. You got to
You
stop,
have a
man. Like,
unique voice. You got hired because they like the way you sound, you know?
yeah.
Like,
And it all
that's
depends.
fine.
Like his normal voice is a little softer. And then when you watch Solo Leveling, and especially like after he's leveled up and all this stuff, he has like a deeper register, like a really sexy voice. And you're like, oh shit, okay. And then you hear him, he just did voice work since Steven Yeun didn't want to, or they couldn't afford him to do the game for Invincible versus he's Mark in that game, and he voice matches to Steven Yeun pretty good. It's like pretty on par. And I recently just watched something with him, and I couldn't tell it was him for like 70% of the episode. And now it's like, man, why it sounds kind of familiar, because it was his normal register just pitched down. And I'm like, this dude is
Mhm.
incredible. This everyone's gotta stop shitting on
Right.
this dude. Get out of here. Get the
Mhm.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
wanted to shout him out real quick. But
Speaking
yeah.
of other cool things,
Yes.
I really did love the like tech aesthetic.
Yeah.
So interesting,
Insane.
so good. I just like again, I cannot get over how fucking gorgeous this movie was.
Hmm.
I really wish I could remember anything that
That's the
happened.
unfortunate thing. It's
um,
just a beautiful painting. That's what it is,
yeah, it
with
gorgeous
cool
painting.
action.
I want to put it on. Like, you know how people put like fake like looping fireplace videos
Oh,
on their
yes.
TV? I want to do that
Yeah.
with this movie. Like absolutely stunning. Um, the the only part of this movie that is really memorable to me is that when Bruce is like trying to save the people who don't exist or whatever, because
Mm,
I was thinking about the trolley problem. We all know what the trolley problem is. You
mhm.
have a trolley, your inaction kills a bunch of people, your
Yeah.
action kills one person, whatever. Um, and I made a note. I feel like the whole point of the trolley problem is nobody wins, nobody loses. Like it is a thought experiment, right?
Yeah.
You can't win the trolley problem. That's how it was designed, and you can't really lose it. Like you got two bad options, right? However, I personally feel like Bruce would lose at the trolley problem every single time. You
Yeah.
know, regardless,
Without
he's losing.
yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, and like I don't know what he could have done to change the fact that like 90% of his, well, like all his rose gallery showed up. 90% of them being white showed up to another country
Mhm,
from the future
mhm,
and took advantage of their
mhm.
knowledge of history to dismantle a already unstable country. Like at this time period where a lot of daimyos were fighting for land and like stuff like that, it just completely dismantled it even worse. So, and then, you know, I don't, it's just, it's insane. And then introduces the Industrial Revolution way earlier than it was supposed to be introduced into the
Too
world of
early,
Japan.
but it's fine.
That,
Whatever.
again, this is the chicken egg time travel thing. I think
Mhm.
because they went back in time, that's why Batman has all this fancy tech in the present.
Well, is it a closed loop? Like, was that inevitable?
Yeah, it was always gonna
Or
happen.
is it
Yeah.
an open loop and did they change the freaking timeline?
Yep.
Who knows? Um,
Yeah.
Again, I did tune out for a good section of this movie, but at one point, Bruce has a monologue and he's talking about like all the things they will do to like save the the past or whatever. And
Hmm.
he goes, "We will master the ways of the ninja." And I was like, "I'm locked in."
Yeah.
Training sequence, like let's go. And then they immediately lost me again. And I was like, I was here, I was
Yep.
ready for that to hit my eyeballs. Then
Dude,
whatever. It's
talk
fine.
about like also how fucking I have it in my notes. How fucking dramatic is Bruce? to say that whole speech.
So
He
dramatic.
could have taken the cowl off. He could have. He kept the half broken cowl on for fucking
Mhm,
dramatic reasons, just to emphasize his
mhm,
fucking point. Like always, what a little bitch. God, he's always like this.
indeed.
And then he throws
Uh,
it to the wind.
yep.
So that's
He
advanced
just threw it
technology you
to the
just threw
wind.
into Japan. Someone needs to get that.
Whatever. It's fine. I did like the wings though,
Yeah,
when
oh, that was
him
cool.
and the boys
That was
were
cool.
flying on their little wing hang glider things.
Mm-hmm.
Those were dope.
Oh man, there were some
Um,
cool moments.
Another cool like visual moment was, and you're gonna have to correct me, Carlos, because I
Mm-hmm.
do not, I think I know this reference, but at one point they were like punching at each other,
Yeah.
and I went, okay, Super Saiyan punch, is
Oh
that even
yeah.
the right reference?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Are you specifically talking about when they're like yelling at each other for like that one big punch where they both hit each other?
And then they, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's a big trope, especially after Dragon Ball Z. There's like a famous fight between Goku and Vegeta where they both like hit
Uh-huh.
each other and they're both
I've seen the
like off to the
gifts.
side. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
didn't know if
Michael B.
it was the
Jordan
right
did it in
show I
Creed
was
3. Like that's a yeah.
yeah.
It's an
Hmm.
iconic
Hmm.
scene. Yeah. So yeah, that was one that they
So
kind of have to.
good. Hmm. Hmm. And then the present day Selena, absolute fucking vibe. I was here for her. The Batmobile at the end, again, also in present day. It's the
Love it.
fucking I, I don't remember what they're called, but when you have the carriage that people carried or was horse drawn or whatever, there's a
Yes. Yeah.
fancy name for that that starts with a C. I don't remember what it is. Anyways,
It knocks over the
surrounding the
Joker car.
Batmobile,
I love
I had Alfred sitting on his knees drinking tea. It's
it.
great. We love to see it. Uh yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah. Did you notice Selena's license plate on her motorcycle?
I did not. What did
It
her
says
license
nine
plate say?
lives. I was like, I love
Iconic.
this. I
God, I
love it.
love her. She's
She's
so
great.
fucking hell.
She
This
she
is
has a
brilliant.
I
Love
mean,
it.
there's a reason why her two lines are the only ones we have in drama class. She's great in this film. Uh Great allow. So perfect. Even when she like switched sides, I'm like, I don't really think she's really switched sides. I think she's just waiting for Bruce.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm
Yeah,
bored.
she was like, she was working with them as a means to an end,
Yeah.
but she did kind of the cause for going
Yeah.
by Bruce,
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah. Uh
which I'm never going by Bruce Wayne's world standard.
no, never. When in my notes I wanted to bring this up when we first are introduced to Nightwing and the Bat Clan and all the bats come out and they like kind of engulf everything. And to transition to the next scene, the bats go from the
The
right of the
do,
screen to the
do,
left.
do.
Uh
Mhm.
did you get the 2004 vibes from that one? From the Batman series?
Absolutely. I heard the do in my
You
head
just
when that
yeah,
was happening. Yeah. Uh-huh.
you're like, wait a minute, this looks familiar.
Absolutely.
Um
I think I've seen this film before.
The Megazord was insane, was crazy. I don't know.
Oh
That
yeah.
was insane to see. I love that. I love also like the writer of Gurren Lagann was like, no, we need Mecha. Like, but we need
Mhm.
Mecha. It's time travel. We can
Absolutely.
figure it out.
Correct.
One pairing that I can't think of seeing it in a canon way. I'm sure it's happened. Red Hood versus Deathstroke. That
I
was
feel
just
like that's
the
happened.
right. It's had to. It's had to in the comics. I know Nightwing tech fights
Uh
him a lot.
so I'm pretty sure that I'm like 90% sure that I read a fanfic that was referencing a
Okay.
canonical time period where they did have beef. I'm pretty sure that was a
Yes, I see
canon
it here.
inspired story.
Deathstroke Volume 5, number 16. Yeah, there it is right
Yeah,
there. They
something like
fought each
that.
other.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I feel like that should have happened more often than we probably have seen it. Like it feels
Mhm.
because like Slade fights Dick a lot. Like that's his main.
Oh
If
yeah.
it ain't
I
Batman, that's
mean,
that guy.
Are they fighting or are they fucking? The world will
Yeah.
never know, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
fine.
you know what? For a long time,
Or both.
Dick was underage, so we know how Slade is.
Mm,
God damn it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dick has enough sexual related trauma. We don't need to add more onto that.
Nope. No. I did love this Damien is so nerdy and so funny. He's played like he doesn't seem like the typical Damien that we're used to, right? But he makes sense. It's a lot of it. His Damien, like the canon Damien shows when he goes up against Ivy. The fact that everyone else is
Oh
like a
yeah.
little bit of a fight and Ivy's like, we're done here. Damien's like, what? You're like, we are done here. I've defeated you that quickly. Do not forget who I am. I was like,
Mhm.
do you think like when Ivy saw him walking, she's like, fuck. God damn it.
That fucking kid.
Yeah. Go fight Penguin.
Mhm.
Even
Mhm.
Dick's like having like a little bit of a tussle with Cobblepot. No, Damien walks
Mhm.
in, sees Ivy, shuts that shit down quickly. He neutralizes that
And the
so fast.
funniest thing is, like, of all the bats, Ivy and Damien would fuck with each other so hard. They
Oh
would get
yeah.
along great. They would be
Yeah. He's
besties.
vegan?
Paola would be
Yeah.
in the auntie vibes. Like they would love each other, and I
Yeah.
stand by that.
Yeah, 100%. It's so funny now too when you see her in a villainous light, especially at the past couple years. I know obviously canon what they're doing now, like she's kind of villainous or like she's like skirting the line. But when you've given us her being fairly good for the past couple years, I'm like, brother, I don't even want to see her bad anymore. Like you can't you keep trying to
Woman
convince me she's a villain.
environmentalists. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen the state of the environment right now?
Listen, if Ivy was around
Like,
right
she's
now,
taking out CEOs. Like, I'm sorry, I gotta support that.
she sounds like a Luigi
Viva
to me,
la
man.
revolution.
I'm just saying.
Like,
Her and Luigi have a lot of
mhm,
things in common, okay?
mhm, mhm. Allegedly.
CEOs,
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah.
That man's
Data
never done
centers.
anything wrong in his life.
Dude, we wouldn't have these data centers. You know what I'm talking about? The Steam machine would not be $1,400. It'd be $1,000 right now. And we'd be
Jesus
like, thanks,
Christ.
Ivy.
Mhm. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, thanks. Because you know
Mhm.
who's fighting for the environment? Ivy. You know who's not fighting for
Mhm.
the environment? The person
The
who's in charge of
fucking
the green.
billionaire Bruce Wayne.
Well, that too, yeah. But I was more saying Swamp Thing.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Swamp
Or
Thing
I
kinda
guess
checked out. It's fine.
you could say that Ivy's it's funny when you think of the world. Swamp Thing,
Mhm.
macro,
Mhm.
Ivy, micro, right? She's focusing on her
Mhm.
targets. Swamp Thing's like, all right, you're doing all this. There's like cosmic horror trying to threaten the green. I
Right.
got that, I guess. You deal with just try not to kill you kill like 5 people. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Gotcha. You know what?
That's fine.
We'll just talk that
Whatever.
one up.
We'll
Uh,
write it off. It's fine.
yeah. Just a tax write off at this point. One of the things I did mention is like I was like, do you think when they go back to Gotham, they talk about those 2 years like it was the one scene in Anchorman where they just like shit escalated to such a different. Everyone's drinking a beer, everyone's got bruises. Like, what happened, man? There's monkeys that look like Detective Chimp, and they all formed over these bats, or these bats formed over them. And then we look like Bruce did when he first came out as Batman, and we fought a Megazord, and there was fire, and I don't know.
Mhm.
Like it was like Damien could talk to monkeys
Feels
for
about
some
right.
reason.
Did they all just have a really bad trip?
Yeah, right.
Or was it a shared hallucination? The
Yeah.
world may never know.
Also, I like to think that like for because you see it blip out, right, and then blip
Mhm.
back in like the credits. I like to think that just like maybe an hour or two passed. So like Barbara's in the clock tower just freaking out, just losing her goddamn mind, just like dealing with all the other
Where have
people
you
that just got
been?
like your comms all just came back on. What happened? Why does it say 2 years? What happened?
Mhm.
Everyone needs a break. Well, I'll call
Right.
Cassie and Stefan. You guys go rest. Jesus. I also wanted a
Oh
special shout
yeah.
out to the final fight between Joker and
Mm,
that is the thing I wanted to
very
mention too.
good.
That fight was incredible. It was really cool, really fun.
Mhm.
The ninja magic thing he was doing at the end, that was really cool. I loved all that, especially as a fan of like Naruto and stuff like that. I wanted to mention this because it's in one of my notes early on. What are your thoughts on Joker? A Joker that can handle his own in a fight with Batman. Do you prefer a Batman that can't, or I'm sorry, a Joker that can, or a Joker that can't, and not to the crazy T? Like he's not like
Yeah.
Raish or Deathstroke level.
I don't love that he can hold his own in a fight
Hmm.
because Joker fundamentally, to me at least, needs to be pathetic for his character to work
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
Like, you can only justify that level of clinical insanity because he's compensating for his complete inability to hold his own in any physical capacity.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to click into that level of like absolute horror in the brain, you gotta be lacking. Like, if you can throw a punch, like, you're not the butt end of a stick of the lowest man on the rung of some goon and you're gonna get blamed for
Yeah.
something and then get fucked up by a bad acid or whatever backstory we're going with today, right? Like, that man needs to be pathetic.
Yeah.
And
And I
that's the
agree.
only way Joker works to me.
Yeah. I'm more okay with like Harley being able
Harley
to
could be
fight.
badass. She could hold her own.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm 100% here for that. But like Joker specifically, that man needs to be pathetic.
Yeah, it's weird. In this film, I didn't mind it, but it brought up that discussion in my head because it was like there's a couple like different ones that show you a Joker that can hold his own. I'm pretty sure if I might be wrong. Not that he necessarily knows martial arts. I think his just level of insanity and his like dexterity of his body in the specific series. I think you know where I'm going with this. 2004 Batman. He,
That just that man has hypermobile joints and is
yeah,
really high on weed.
yeah.
Like
That's he's like playing off like the he's like lucky and he's also like kind of playing off the environment around him when he's fighting Bruce. So like every time he has that, he can hold his own in that series. I'm okay with, but like Mark Hamill animated series, I feel like a lot of times Joker just happens to get lucky, and the more of obviously they fight, and the more Joker is he's not dumb. That's the thing. He's
right.
incredibly intelligent. So I feel like we're not like talking about like photographic memory, like BAPS or anything like that. But I feel like after a while, he's like, "Oh, Bruce might throw a right.
Right.
I'm a duck, and I can throw something in his face and then stab him with something." You know, like he's
Mhm.
playing to his strengths, and he happens to get an upper hand sometimes. Batman's distracted, or he's frazzled him to a certain degree where he can get a couple licks in. But yeah, I don't know if I really like a Joker who can fight. I'm gonna bring this stuff off air too. Not that, and I'll put it in the DC grads like Discord channel. I want to ask Frank and I want to ask my friend Joey what their thoughts on it because it's an
Mhm.
interesting thing seeing this Joker who's physically capable. Also, you got to think
It's like he
2 years in Japan, maybe he learned, maybe he grabbed
right.
somebody.
Situationally,
Yeah,
that's fine. Whatever. But like the level of clinical insanity needed to justify the Joker has to have some sort of level of
yeah,
intelligence. Like, you don't get that complicated, freaking formula chemicals going on
hmm
without some level of brilliance. And so, like, the cunning, the smart, the able to hold his own in a fight is fine. But again,
yeah,
keep that man pathetic. Like
yeah.
he might throw a punch and break his hand. Like that's the
I like,
play.
yeah, I like the more he has this incredible pain tolerance, and he will wear
Mhm.
you out, or he'll get you to slip some way, frazzle you some way where he can get a punch, a
That man
kick,
does not
a
have a
stab
single
in.
functioning nerve in his body. Like
No,
that's fine,
yeah.
right?
That yeah,
Doesn't mean
so
he's winning or has good technique. He just can't feel anything,
mhm. Yeah, and
and it's
it'd
a
be
little
different if we get
for
something
Joker.
where he is let's say he is like in whatever canon he's in, like has a background before becoming the Joker that he has some kind of defense. Like we know for a fact in main continuity, Harley took night classes for self defense. She's an
Right.
Olympic level gymnast, right? To a certain degree. Like she could be classified as Olympic level if she like trialed. And then
Yeah.
her years of being Harley Quinn, and she's insane to a certain degree, but not Joker insane. So she's willing to learn,
Right.
understand. She's worked
Mhm.
with Black Canary with Babs,
Mhm.
with the Birds of Prey and stuff like that. So she's picked up stuff where you're like, yeah, Harley, I'd rather fight Joker, I think, than Harley. I don't
Mhm.
want to fight Harley because I know I'm going to get my ass kicked. I'm going to die with Joker, but like, I think I can get it's because he's going to hit me with acid or some shit. Harley's going to
Yeah.
whoop my ass. I know she's going to whoop
Mhm.
my ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like anyone who thinks differently, read comics. Do yourself a favor. Read comic books because that's what they
Mhm.
were there for.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had that discussion though, because that was something that was bothering me. I was like, I knew there was something else I wanted to add it to it, but yeah, I think a more pathetic Joker really works more than that. Like, unless it's a canon thing, like the rumored canon that Heath Ledger's Joker was supposed to be like a Afghan vet. I'm like, okay, then that's probably why he gets the upper hand on Bruce a little more than in the Dark Knight film. But I was like, still, I don't know, man. I just like a Joker that's like, eh, you know.
Mhm.
Good example, 89
Failed
Joker.
comic turned
Yeah.
failed
Oh yeah.
criminal. Like
Yeah. 89 Joker is great. He's a mob enforcer, lower level guy, trying to make his way up. He probably's had a couple scraps, but he's mainly a gun guy. He's pretty smart. That's why he gets upper hand in that Bruce in that universe. But that's it. Like I'm not looking for fucking he knows judo and shit. Like, get out of here. What are you doing? All right. So that is our notes. We're gonna move on to drama class, my favorite section here at DC Graduates. We have uh two lines here, not really, like two little things here. Um wait, do you want to be Grodd or Catwoman for the first one?
I'll be Grodd.
Okay. Do you want me to be Catwoman for the second one as well?
I can do the second one
Okay,
if you want.
that's fair. I was thinking, I was like, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I was like, should I put that one first? Should I do that one? Yeah, but all right, it's such a cheesy line. It was like, come on, I know what you guys do. All right, so we'll start with this one. Isn't a gorilla eating a banana a little cliche?
Says the cat burglar wearing a cat costume.
I do love Grodd in this film. He's great. He's a great Grodd.
It's
He's a
great.
great portrayal of Gorilla
Yeah.
Grodd. Fred Tassacor did a great job. Actually,
Mhm.
I saying that out loud,
Absolutely.
obviously dating ourselves again. There's going to be a Gorilla Grodd live action TV series for DC
Mm.
on HBO Max with it's Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen, played by
What?
Skylar, who played him in the Superman film. And it's like
Incredible. Okay.
yeah, let's get Fred to voice. Obviously, Gorilla Grodd's gonna be CG in that
Mhm.
that series. Let's get
Right.
Fred Tassacor to voice him. He needs a really good
Hell yeah.
Grodd. He's a really good Grodd.
Mhm.
All right, and his final one, which is what a line, man.
Silly. Time for some girl on girl action. You
Man,
tell him, Selena.
yeah, and it works on so many different levels. Obviously, we know what you're doing. It's an
Mhm.
anime. Two busty villains are about to fight each other. So there's that
Very
fan service.
cheeky. Mhm.
It's very cheeky girl on girl fight stuff going on. And then you get Selena who's canonically bi.
Mhm.
Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So it's like, you said that on purpose, didn't you?
Mhm.
At first it's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
really? You put this line in there, and then you think it was like, no, I feel like Selena would actually say that.
Mhm.
That doesn't feel far from her character. Right. So sliding into homeroom slide. What are your final thoughts on 2018's Batman Ninja?
Absolutely gorgeous. I don't think this has much rewatchability, although you have rewatched it, so you might have
It was
different
definitely
take
better
on
the
that.
second time, I would
Uh,
say.
okay. I might have to give this a second watch then,
No.
because like again, absolutely stunning. I was obsessed with all of the various art styles we saw throughout this film. I just and again, it might just be a not great translation. Who knows? But like I wanted to love this movie so much, but like nothing of the story is going to stick with me, and that's a huge part of why we're watching these films, is to prove that like DC does have great stories and they can make great films
Mhm.
in the animated form. And now we're getting some good live action, hopefully. I do have tickets, not to date ourselves again. Jeez.
Yeah.
Supergirl coming up, but like I really wanted to love this movie, and again, absolutely fucking stunning film. 10 out of 10. Love the art. I guess I just need to watch it again to get more substance out of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, watching it a second time, I came around to the animation. By the end of the film, I was like, I'm really excited for next week's episode, watching the sequel to this. I
Mhm,
and just even looking at like the art stills right now, I'm like, oh yeah, it definitely looks way better. Um I think it's an interesting universe that they find themselves in a different like a specific adaptation of like what they're doing with this like universe in the Batman Ninja and like how they're adapting and bringing a lot of like Japanese influences into the world of Batman, which already again is not too far off because it is a Batman is basically a ninja trained by the League of
mhm.
Assassins anyway. So that's fun. Again, I think it works better a second viewing. I think especially if you know, take your old man glasses off and kind of watch it for the flashy thing. And it's very flashy and
Mhm,
the fights are incredible, but when you come to the story, it's like, hey, it could be better. Again, it's just one big setting, like a set piece of
mhm,
feudal Japan, and then like what fun can we do in here? And that's basically what the film is. And that
mhm,
is your mileage may vary with that. I think a second viewing, I was like, after so many years, I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm a little more excited about. I like well after watching this, and it made me more excited for next week's episode, Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League, especially how they're gonna adapt
mhm.
that. I can't wait to see
Oh yeah.
the Justice League in this art style.
Mhm.
Like that makes me so excited. I can't wait to
It's
see
gonna be very
Superman.
cool.
I don't even know what Superman looks like, so I am excited about that. Um, but yeah,
And especially
uh,
with the year jump. We're going from 2018 to 2025.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see it since we're watching them back to back, how that story continues, how that art style may or may not have changed,
yeah. I
and
think
what
especially
they do
it
with this
has
film.
to, even from just the stills of looking at it. It looks like they definitely have honed their skills between those 6 years. At that time it would be like 5 years, right, or something like that.
God, 6 years.
No, 7 years
Still,
at that point. Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah, so I would say
Ouch.
7 years from 2018 when the film came out. So they definitely honed their skills, and then you see this is a studio that has more work under the belt. They figured out,
Mhm,
it's not a gimmick to do 3D anime anymore. It is a viable thing. Like it is a viable source of that medium, and more people have come around to it. I'm sure there's younger audiences out there who like see a 2D anime and is like, oh, that's strange, or like, oh, it's old
mhm.
school. Like, all right.
Right.
But it
Ugh,
hasn't it
ouch.
hasn't replaced yeah, it hasn't replaced traditional 2D animation. I think a really good anime studio blends the 2, and a really good anime studio that focuses on it really well. And I think this looks like
Mhm,
it's gonna be a good. I would like to, if I can this week, watch some of Star Wars Visions and see which ones they work on specifically and see how they have adapted over the years to this art style. So I'm interested. Would you recommend someone watch this?
Ye Again, if you like the art style, yes,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. I don't think I would recommend it as a film, like narratively.
Mhm.
Again, I'm gonna rewatch it before next week and see if my opinions change, and if so, I'll have an update for you in the next
Yeah.
episode. But I don't think I would recommend it as a narrative film, but I would recommend it as a piece of art, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I agree. And as someone too, if you like, anime action and stuff like that, this really has, especially that fight scene. That goes on for a good while too. I feel like it's a really
Mhm,
long fight scene and it doesn't drag. It doesn't feel like overtly exhausting or anything. Like it has different layers and stuff like that. It's really cool. Um
mhm,
yeah, I think it's fun for that. Or yeah, I hate to be that guy because again, substance wise, I don't think there's much here. but, like, this is something I can see myself 2 o'clock in the morning, had a couple of drinks, I'm hanging out with my nerdy friends and being like, "Yo, let me throw on YouTube. I wanna show you this Joker and Batman fight scene from Batman Ninja." You know, like, I
Mm,
show them that fight or show them the giant monkey bat Batman versus
mhm,
the Megazord. You know, something like that. Like, show them like, the ridiculousness of those scenes or see, like, a compilation on, like, DC's YouTube or something like that, but not necessarily,
mhm.
like, the whole film. I don't know if I would watch it again. It's definitely better a second viewing, but that's not I don't think saying too much. It's more just style and everything. Like, man, this is really good. I really enjoy, like, the style. We are very high on it for how we sound right now, but I
Mhm.
don't think that's necessarily a bad
Yeah,
thing.
I had a great time. It's
Yeah.
just, you know.
I don't yeah, it's hard to recommend. It's a hard to recommend film because
Mm,
it's like, even though I enjoyed it, I don't know if your mileage may vary. Like, I could see people watching
mm.
for, like, 30 minutes and be like, I don't think I like it." I'm like, "Hey, no, that's fine. Peace out. Have a good time."
That's
You
valid.
know?
Yeah. Mhm,
Yeah. I'm really hoping that, though, with me liking the second viewing, I hope the story's better in the sequel.
mm,
We'll find out next week what our thoughts are. But, I am looking forward to seeing the sequel, which hopefully
mhm.
is on
Me
HBO
too.
Max.
Very exciting.
If not, we
It
have a
is.
Frank. Oh, okay,
Because
cool.
episode 2 is or movie 2 is on HBO Max, but movie 1 isn't, because that's how they do things over there.
Yep. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. On that note, Sly,
Mhm,
that is our episode. Before we go, where can people find you?
mhm. You can find me everywhere on the internet at SelectCloneMC. You can also find me on Storygraph doing way too many book challenges and probably not completing any of them. And I really want to make a video for, I don't know when we're posting this, we'll figure it out. But Disability Pride Month is coming up in July, so I'll probably be making content around that. We'll see how that
Oh, yeah.
goes. So look for those
Oh, yeah,
things,
man.
I guess.
That's That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all that. And again, if you want to find those videos, youtube.com/point of progress, best place to find us. Or if you listen to us, don't forget this is an audio podcast as well as a video podcast. Go over to your favorite podcast service if you're watching, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening, come over to youtube.com/point of progress, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out our other videos, check out our shorts where I did cut out a lot of reactions from Summer Games Fest. You can watch the whole Summer Games Fest feed where me and Frank, it literally happenstance. We happen to both be not busy at our computers watching this and both text each other. I'm like, wait, I'm recording stuff for Pip. Did you want to jump in? Fuck yeah. And we just very typical Pip way. We just jumped in randomly and just recorded the content. But yeah, you can find us there. You can find this here and some playthrough series that we have going on there. But till next time, class is dismissed.
Bye.